What's going on, guys? Joe with another video. Today in this video, guys, we'll be breaking down the fundamentals and the foundation of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game slash Master Duel. Mostly how it relates to Master Duel in itself. So if you guys are new to the game, or you just you started playing Master Duel, maybe you're thinking Master Duel's not quite for you, consider watching this video and this series. And this is going to be episode 1 of a 5-part series I'm going to be doing this week, plus a live stream how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On Friday. If you guys want to check that out, I'll be streaming at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I'll be there answering any of your questions. Or if any of you guys would like to duel against me, you're more than welcome to hop into the live stream and chat and ask any questions or duel as well too. Also, here is my friend code if you guys would like to add me on Master Duel as well. With that being said, guys, we'll go ahead and get the party started. So what I want to do in this one, like I said, we're going to break down pretty much. We want to go through the terms, basically how to play the game, and just kind of some really general stuff. So I'm trying to be general, but not too general. So if you're new to the game or a returning player, this should be a very helpful video. If not, let me know down below in the comments whenever you thought that was maybe too basic or something that you thought was, not needed or something maybe I should have spent a little more time on. Yeah, we'll go ahead and dive in, guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do a duel. I think I'll just explain everything through doing a duel. That's probably the easiest way. So we'll do just the monarchs. And some of the best thing to do, guys, make sure you're going through and playing through all of that, going through the entire story mode. Let me go back real quick. The story mode series. What I do, as you guys can see, is where I go through all of them and get to the point where I clear them, and then I'm just going back now and completing these out because you need points and something you have to go through and basically do that anyway. Ooh, excuse me. But that's the way it's designed. So just kind of go through and you can see I've got plenty of points, so I can easily go through and knock all these out. I just haven't had the time to sit down and go through it. Unfortunately, you get a good chunk of points and free cards by going through this. I would recommend doing that. Plus, it helps you get good practice tools and stuff like that until they add something extra that we could do other than playing with like a friend or playing online multiplayer. So yeah. So that being said, guys, we'll go ahead and dive in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and choose my deck. I'm gonna use the Gladiator Beast because it is kind of an old school deck. I like how it lets you choose now. Um, we'll choose to go second since I'm a go in. I'm more of a this is more of a go in second deck, and I want you guys to be able to see how I can explain more to you while it's doing that. All right, so with the game itself, right? So we'll kind of start with the uh, so kind of some of the differences, right? So with Master Duel, guys, right, it's a best of one, so it's not like what you're maybe used to playing back in the day with your friends for the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, where it would be a best of 3, and you would have like a side deck and things like that that you could swap out cards, uh, in between the duels. So in this case, it's a best of one. So with that being said, that helps, you know, kind of helps slash hurts, some of the cards that are going to be used in the game. Some of the cards that are a little more OP are going to be used more than normal. Your deck, it has to have at least 40 cards, right? Uh, so if you have less than 40 cards, it's not going to let you be able to duel like I'm dueling here. You're going to have at least a deck of 40 cards. Your deck can't be more than 60 cards. We'll go over the ban. We'll look at the ban list and talk about the ban list after we go through all of this. As you can see, let's kind of break down the field. We don't have a timer on here, so I kind of pretty much do whatever I need to, which is fantastic. So right, you have your field, right? So we have our deck here that goes here. We have our hand here, right? You draw 5 cards per turn. Same if you go first too, right? If you choose to go first, you draw 5. I know some of you guys maybe that haven't played in a while used to draw 6. That's been changed for a very long time. So keep in mind if you do go first or choose to go first, you're only going to draw 5 cards. So make sure you keep that in mind. So next, right, you have the field. So I'll kind of explain the field because that's changed a lot over time. So you have the main monster zone. So this is where all your monsters would go, and also since Master Rule 5, this is where you could put your Exceed monsters, your Synchro monsters, uh, basically anything except for Links. Links have to go in one of the extra monster zone. So you can pick which one. Like both of mine are open right now. So if I link some in, which we'll link some in here in a little bit, so you guys will see that in a moment. I won't break too much down about link summons. I'm going to do a whole video on link summons and stuff like that from the extra deck in a whole video. So uh, if I don't cover what you're quite looking for that, don't worry. I'm going to do a full video on it with this series later on. But right, so we have the main monster zone where we would normal summon a monster. We have our spell and trap card zone. So what's changed over the year too is now we have pendulums. So if some of you guys haven't played a while, you probably have no idea what pendulums are, or just slightly seeing them as you've played ranked, or maybe you watch, Triff, maybe watch Triff's channel, so you already know what pendulums are if you're watching Triff. If not, definitely consider following him. He's the pen god, so he's definitely the best one to help you with pendulums. But these left, and I'll go over pendulums in another video too, guys. But for the main thing I want you to know about pendulums now is the far left and the far right spell and trap cards are meant for pendulums. So that way, if you're playing a pendulum person, you how to stop them is by basically clogging up those zones. Maybe you imperm the zone so they can't uh, play there, so they can't pendulum someone for the turn, so it hurts them, kind of thing. So just kind of keep stuff like that in mind, strategy-wise. Uh, then you have the field spell that would go over here. And then, like I said, this is the extra monster zone. The links have to go here, and then wherever the arrows point to, you can, summon down below. And we'll kind of leave it at that for now. You'll see a bunch of them here in a minute. So spell cards, right? There's a bunch of different spell cards. This one is a continuous, so it's going to stay on the field unless it has a specified effect to go to the graveyard. Other than that, it's going to remain face up on the field, which this one does. So what I'm going to do is we have cards now that can do from hand. Uh, So what I'm going to do is his effect is for my Fractal, it's going to activate his effect. I can send him to the graveyard. Then I can send another card in this case, which I'm going to send Kit. Kit's effect is when Kit's dumped to the graveyard, what I can then do is then dump another one to the graveyard, which we're going to dump Nerval. Nerval is going to activate his effect. Then as in once he's sent to the graveyard, I can add one of my Tri-Brigade monsters from my deck to my hand, so we're going to add Kraz. Alright, so we've got all of that. There we go. And then also too, I forgot to mention. So you have the extra deck, guys. You can have up to 15 different uh, cards in your extra deck. Uh, so we'll make sure we have that. Um, so yeah, we have 15 from there. And you can always go back here and check the sheet too. So don't forget to check this if you forget like what a card your opponent added to their hand. Make sure you do this. A lot of the times I make sure I do that. If it's because it's so quick they show it to you, it's hard to click on it and see what they're and read the effect of the card. So make sure you click over here and then you can just go back and let's say I didn't know uh, I could kind of click on tricky there, but you guys get the point, right? I can click on anything that I need, right? So you guys can see that's all you have to do is click on that, and then I just click on that to get it to go away. With this game, right, there's multiple different phases within the game itself. So you have your draw phase, which is, right, you're going to draw for turn if you go second, right? If you go first, you don't get a draw phase. You immediately go to basically into pretty much standby phase and pretty much main phase one, pretty much. Because you don't have anything that's going to activate really in the standby phase. So like for you, when you go in second, the standby phase, anything that would activate. So like if your opponent has any like monster card effects or trap card effects or any lingering effects or anything that would trigger. Usually it's more trigger lingering or like trigger effects that would activate that specify in the standby phase or just naturally activate during your opponent's turn. This is when they would activate. Then you would go to main phase one, which is what we're in now. And for those who may not familiar, main phase is basically where you do everything, right? We're basically where we're actually dueling, right? We're figuring, how we're going to build our board. We're going to summon out our cards and activate our spell cards and things like that. To essentially, right, try and, beat over our opponent's board or, destroy their board and attack them directly and hopefully get, go for the game or get us closer to game. But that's mostly what that's for. Then next, right, you have, after that is battle phase where you can attack your opponent. If you have monsters, you'll attack them, which we'll get into that here in a moment. Main phase 2, you can only enter if you did the battle phase. I just want to make sure I do this all at once so it's not too confusing. So this would be after you win the battle phase, you could go into main phase 2. But if you never go battle phase, so like let's say I go, and that's why you can see it's grayed out for me right now because I can't go main phase 1 into main phase 2. I have to go battle. Even if I don't have any monster cards, just in case anyone's curious, I could have a 0 monster cards, which is a very known strategy for people playing evenly matched, if anyone's gotten evenly matched, is they'll go battle phase, no cards on field, and then go main phase 2, because they can technically do that because they went battle phase, even though they have no cards on field, and then play evenly matched and then wipe out your opponent's board. And then main phase 2, you can do everything that you can still do in main phase 1, so I could still summon all my monsters, play spells, everything we could do in main phase 1, I can still do in main phase 2. And then once I'm fully done with my turn, right, then I'll end my turn and it'll send it to my opponent. And then, right, then the cycle will start over again. This time, of course, they'll draw, they'll go standby phase will trigger. There's no any effects that would activate for them or us. It would go instantly main phase and then rinse and repeat. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll go ahead and get started from there, guys. So we have Kraz effect will activate. I'm going to go ahead and dump the Naval in hand. He won't trigger again. He's a hard once per turn. I've got another video part of the series where we'll go through and do once per turn card effects. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just do the 2. We could do 3 if I wanted to, but I want you guys to see a little more, so we'll do that. So we're going to go Degrassus, so it allows me to link summon by removing them from play. It's going to Raigeki break us. So I guess we're going to go ahead and do all that now. Alright, so we've got them on board, so we're actually going to go ahead and do our first link summon. Since he did that, I was going to wait. So this is how link summons work, guys. So basically, you can see that it has 2, so this means it has to be made with 2 materials, and the card will tell you how to play the card, so we need to read it. So it says 2 monster cards, including a Gladiator Beast monster. So we need 2 cards, and one of them needs to be a Gladiator Beast, and they get sent to the graveyard. So we have our Tame Editor, not Tame Editor, we have a Torix, and then we have Karaz. So we have 1 Gladiator Beast and then 1 non-Gladiator Beast. So that works perfectly, so we can go straight into Panther, which is why you see it highlighted. And then both of them will go to the graveyard. Then you can see I can pick left or right zone. If my opponent already had one in one area, right, by default, you automatically just get the other. They can't use both zones, so you don't have to worry about that, just in case anyone's curious. I'm trying to go over a lot of stuff that I know that people tend to usually ask. So when Panther summon, guys, his effect activates. I can add any Gladiator Beast card from my deck to my hand. I'm going to choose to add the normal spell Comeback, which will allow me, basically it's a monster reborn for Gladiator Beasts, but better because it keeps them from being destroyed by battle. We'll bring back the Atorix that we used for the Link summon. Now Panther has another effect that he can activate now since we have a monster on the field, that we can return one of our Gladiator Beasts from the deck to hand, and then we can trigger. Now, as I'm going through this, guys, don't worry so much about the deck itself. I just want you to understand more of how to play and just the foundations of the game, not really the combos. So that's why I'm not focusing too much on explaining the combos. His effect is basically when when he was summoned from his effect, he gets an effect to special summon another Gladiator Beast from hand. Since he's summoned by his effect, he counts to get his effect. So I can spam my Vaspirus, which his effect activates to give everybody 500 more attack. Alright, so then I can do here, guys, we can fusion. So this is what fusion monsters look like. They're always these little purple cards. And you can even see on the card it says, whatever it is, in this case it's Beast Warrior, and you can see fusion. They're always these purple looking cards. Alright. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so we have that. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, let's see. Alright, so we got that. So his effect will we'll go ahead and activate his effect. He allows me to special summon one of the others. I'm going to go ahead and do like I normally would do if this is a real duel and not just us playing against the AI. So I'm going to summon Domitianus. Alrighty. So we've got him out. So then what we can do from here is basically then we can just go into battle. Before we go into that, what I want to do, guys, is go over a few other things. Let's see. So this is the I think I may have forgotten. This is the graveyard, right, where all your cards go if whenever, basically you activate them or they're destroyed. Unless specified, they all go here. So any card you activate, like a normal spell, or they destroy your card or negate your card, all of them go to the graveyard. They only get removed from play unless your card specifies it or your opponent specifies it. They'll say like removed from play, or it may say banished. That's what that means. If you see any terminology around removed from play or banished, it's talking about this specific zone that's right above your graveyard. So this is the removed from play zone. One thing that you do need to know, like if it says face down removed from play, like the evenly matched card that I mentioned earlier, Like I'll pull up evenly matched so you guys can see it on my computer. Hang on. So you guys can see on here, right? So at the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish all their cards from the field face down, so that they control the same number of cards. So when it says face down, it's removed completely from the game. So what that means is it can't come back. So any cards that are removed face down, they're permanently removed. Like that would be a good example, like Pot of Desires, things like that. They're permanently removed from the rest of that duel. So like when you go into this is a best of one, right? They're completely gone for this entire one. Since it's not like TCG and you would get a game two and be able to reuse the cards. So on here, once you do that, they're permanently gone. So make sure you keep that in mind if you're playing some sort of remove from play deck or you're playing against someone that's using remove from play cards. Because once they're here, unless you have something to specially get them back, that's the regular, like their face up remove from play, you can still bring them back if you have card effects to do that. But if they're face down, they're out completely. They can't be touched. They're gone forever. There's no way to get them back in the game. They're just gone. But I wanted to make sure I took the time to go over that. One thing too, guys, is make sure with the auto, be careful not to happy click. I see a lot of people just because it tells you to uh, click, like it gives you an option to prompt something, doesn't mean that's the right step. So keep that in mind. The game is not playing for you. Uh, just to kind of add that in there. Uh, it's just telling you can do this. So just make sure I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. I see a lot of people that's just up and clicking. So right, we're done with our battle, so we can go main phase 2, and since we're playing a Gladiator Beast deck, all their effects trigger in the battle phase. So we'll go ahead and send him back. We'll go ahead and pull out our quest. A quest will trigger. We'll pull back our comeback. We'll leave the others in the field for now. So then what we can do, guys, we can go for a few different things. We can go. I'm going to use 3. We could have treated this one as 2 if we wanted to, but I chose not to because I can use my comeback to re-bring him back. So we're going to use that to our advantage so I can re-spam the board with more stuff. I could go full combo infinite negate. If you guys do like the Gladiator Beast, definitely consider checking out my deck profile, and I go over how to play the deck already in a video here on the channel. So if this is one of your favorite decks like it was for mine back in the day, which is one of the reasons I chose it for the video, you're more than welcome to check that out. All right, I think we'll just go. We'll go, yeah. We could go infinite negate, but I'm not going to bother to go through all that because I don't want the video to be longer than it needs to be. We'll go. So Simorg's effect, guys. If you're not familiar with Simorg, it triggers during the end phase, and then you can special summon a monster, especially when a monster from the deck. In this case, we can do the Avion. What is he playing? Gather Mind. We're fine with that because it's just thinning out. All he's doing is thinning out his deck. Now he's gonna pass back to us. So, all right, and we'll draw right. All right, and that's essentially the game. We're gonna go through and attack him directly. One thing that I do want to go before we go through and do all that. So, like for example, so you guys can see. Right, so like for him, he's a 7. So for him, it takes 2 tributes. So anything like 7 or higher requires 2 tributes, other than the Egyptian gods that require 3. So like if I wanted to summon him out, I would have to tribute 2 cards, and we could summon him from hand. Uh, so just kind of keep that in mind, guys. So anything that's 1 through 4, you can just normal summon to the field. Anything that's 5 or 6, you have to tribute at least 1 monster on your side of the field. 7 or higher, you need at least 2 tributes, unless it's like Slifer, Obelisk, Raw, then you'll need 3 tributes. Trying to think of anything else. I don't think we forgot anything that I really wanted to cover. I just wanted to cover basically the foundations. I think we pretty much got it covered, guys. So we'll go ahead and go through. I try to follow all of my notes and stuff like that. There are a few win conditions that some people have played. I know Sam's done a few videos on it, like the instant win conditions of the game, like the the final from the Destiny board, Exodia, of course, decking out your opponent. I know you guys have maybe seen a lot of people taking the Maxi challenge. I have one of them listed here on the channel as well. If you're interested in checking that out, where I go through and do the same thing. We don't deck the dude out, but it is a heck of a duel. Like very good duel if you want to interested in checking that out. But that's basically the main winning conditions, right? Is you either your opponent life points hit 0, they get it, Exodia, uh, maybe a burn deck, right? And they burn the damage to you, so you take it off like the life points. Uh, let's see what I said. Exodia, Destiny board. Uh, that's pretty much it. Exodia, Destiny board, and like maybe like Final Countdown and stuff like that. Other than that, which Sam's done, Teen Samurai 1X has done videos, all that. So that's interesting stuff you guys are checking out or curious about those particular decks. He's got videos on his channel. If you guys, I'm pretty sure watch Sam if you're watching this video, so definitely consider checking that out if you already seen his videos he's posted about that. I think that'll do it for this one, guys. I don't want it to be too long. It's already right at 21 minutes, so hopefully I didn't forget anything. If I did, please let me know down below in the comments. I just wanted this to be a basic intro to the game. In tomorrow's video, we'll dive a little bit deeper and go over card effects and spell speed. So that's where I know a lot of people get confused, especially these days. So I'm going to be diving really deep into it tomorrow, and we'll have a much deeper discussion than today. That'll do it for this video, guys. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you in the next one.